Hi everyone, Nick Smith here. I've got a short video that I'm going to cover to do with the installation of version 2. We've released the ISO version, and you will have probably received an email, something to the effect of what you can see on the screen. Obviously what you need to do is to click on the link, and that will then download. It will open up in your preferred web browser. There we go. It's now connecting and starting to download, and that will then download the ISO so that you can install that. A couple of points on this whilst that's just going through. The download is 537 meg, and we actually give that value in bytes as well. And for you IT professionals out there, if you want to actually check that the file hasn't been corrupted as part of the download, or anything unnecessary has been in there, we provide three different methods of confirming the download, which are listed in the email, and you'll be able to see on the screen as well. So once that is downloaded, I'm just going to stop that. You can then go to downloads, and you will see that the ISO is there, and then by double clicking on it, what that will then do is it will mount the ISO as a new drive within within my documents. You can see the icon here. So what that effectively gives you is the contents of what is needed to be installed. Now at this point you can do one of two or three things. You can either copy this onto a network drive, or an external hard drive, a memory stick. Obviously that needs to be at least a gig in size. Or potentially you could burn a CD if you felt it necessary to actually burn a CD. But what you can also do is you can install that from this drive here. So if we go to Setup Reality, if we double click on that, that will then come up with a message saying, do you want to install it? And select yes, and that will then start the installation process. Now at this point, one of two things will happen. Is you will either be completely offline, and therefore you will have to rely on the information that's within the ISO, or if you click the option down the bottom down here, it will allow the installer to check that if there's any updates available, and then so if anything has changed since the ISO was issued. We issue photometry all the time, and we also produce updates as well as and when they so select next, and that will then look up your license key in the database, and that will obviously tell you who you are and who it's licensed to. It will also bring up the after that, it will bring up the terms and conditions, the license agreement, which I'm sure you all read, don't you? Once you've read that and you're comfortable with them, you tick the box here, select accept, select next, and that will then bring you into the main download section. So on the right hand side here, you can see how I've got done all the way down here, because I have the latest version installed. But for the benefit of the installation process, I'm going to tick a few things just to install that. Clearly, anything that doesn't say done down the right hand side means you don't have the latest version, and therefore you will need to install that. So you would normally you would either select all and just install everything. If there's only certain things that you want to install, obviously the program, and then perhaps various selected pieces of photometry that you may want to update. For example, we did an update for DW Windsor earlier this week, so on the 4th of May. So you can select any of those, and then select download and install, and it will first of all prompt you if you want to install a Lighting Reality PDF printer. Now I'm installing this on Windows 10, so it's not necessary to install the printer. We do ask people to sometimes use that if there are support issues. So if you have the printer installed and you do use it, then please tick yes, even if though it's already installed, because we have had some support issues where people have selected no and then the printer has been removed. So select yes, and then that will go through the installation process. Now, at this point, I have already made the assumption that you have a Windows administrator account and you are allowed to install the program into program files. We install files into a whole bunch of different locations, but because you have a login account doesn't necessarily mean you have the privileges to install the program. As you can see, it is now installing. We go through the process of, first of all, we have to set up permissions so that we can install files into various locations. We then go through the process of installing the program, and then we go to the position where we then reset the permissions back to wherever they happen to have been. And then at that point, we will then go through and install the photometry. So the program has now finished installing, and we're now installing the photometry. You can see up here the percentages that's going across. We've also got the progress bar going across as well, and the various bits of photometry that I've selected are now being installed. Any existing data that was there will be removed, and then the new data installed. So that has now been completed, and we can now select exit. So if you now go back to my PC and then right click on the ISO, you can then eject that, and what that will then do is it will then remove the E drive, in this case from my machine, and turn it back to the way that it was. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions, please drop us an email to support@lightingreality.com. You can also tweet us on Twitter, which is @lightingreality. You can contact me directly, support@nicksmithassociates.com, or you can tweet me directly @nicksmith1246 on Twitter. Please also take a look at our LinkedIn page as well. And please, if you're watching this video on YouTube, please can I ask you to like the video below. It helps us with our rankings within Google, and also subscribe to the channel so that you get updates of future videos that we post. Please don't forget that if you have a topic you want us to cover, we take requests, and we're more than happy to cover a topic that somebody wants us to deal with. So thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.